Welcome back to another episode, and I've got my good mate Leroy here, and he's got another MOOER multi-effects. Which one is it today, man?
Today we're looking at the G300 Lite, Trav. And so the G300 Lite is the smaller brother to the G300. G300 has the expression pedal built in. The G300 Lite doesn't. However, it does have extensions for 2 expression pedals. Let's just take a look at some of the features. All right, so with the G300 Lite, you've got 108 digital amp models. You've got 43 factory cabinet simulations, and you've got an IR loader, so you can load in your own cabinets into the unit. It's got 13 effects blocks. You can see those across the front there. And you've got 255 spots, preset spots. You can actually save different settings to every single one of those spots. Also has tone capture. So tone capture is MOOER's way of capturing real live amplifiers. You can actually send this out through the preamp of your tube amp or whatever you like. This will model the sound, and then you can actually capture that sound, save it in this unit, and take it with you, and it's accessible via the tone cap feature there. It's also got a separate wah block, which is a really cool thing to have as well, which some of the smaller ones don't have. Okay, this unit has XLRs and 1/4 stereo output, so left and right XLRs, left and right 1/4s. It's also got a headphone output if you want to. It's also got a programmable stereo effects loop, so you can actually send this out through one of your favorite pedals if you choose to, or 4 of them, whatever you like, and back into the unit. And then it's actually got a effects loop button there, which you can make adjustments, and you can save it on or off within a patch, and your pedals can be turned on or off essentially just with that unit. One of the other amazing things about this pedal is you can actually use these control buttons for whatever you like. So you can actually assign all 6 of these switches here, as well as the colors around them, to whatever you choose. So you can have one control pedal, you switch it on, and it can turn on various different effects at once. One of the awesome things, if we go to the system button, we scroll down to footswitch mode, you'll get a bit of an idea of what we've got. So at the moment we've got 3 control pedals, and we've got 3 preset pedals. We can change the sounds we've already stored with these preset pedals, and then the control pedals, we can turn things on and off within those sounds. That's mode 1. If we go to mode 2, you'll see we can actually have all 6 of these pedals as control pedals. So they could switch off various different things within that one patch. So it makes it incredibly useful. You could virtually play an entire gig on one patch just using all of these control pedals if that's the way you want to set it up. Another way you can do it is if we roll to mode 3, you've got ABC, ABC. So you've actually got access then to 2 banks worth of presets that you've saved. So 6 completely different sounds without even having to go up and down. These are your up and down buttons here. Alrighty, let's go back to the display. If we look at our display, you'll see we've got it named at the moment. If we push the display again, it will show us our effects chain. So what's actually in the actual chain that's making the sounds. And at the bottom here in the grey, you'll actually see some letters and numbers. So we've got a yellow triangle above the compressor there, and then we've got the parameters showing down here. If we want to adjust those, we can adjust those in real time just using these 2 knobs. If we go over to the distortion, there's 5 settings in the distortion. Now we've got access to all of those parameters with these 5 knobs, and so on and so forth for every one of those effects modules in the chain. We can make really quick adjustments just by leaving it on this particular display setting, and then when we're happy with what we want, we can just save it. Alternatively, if we go back to our display, we can actually push one of the lit up buttons. When they're lit up, it's showing us that that particular effect block is being used. So when we turn it on, you can see it's lit up. We've got an amplifier in there, and you've got all your controls for your amp across the top. We click this one again, and we've got a second parameter row. We also have the tube setting in this particular unit. That's within the amplifier, so you can change the tube sound if that's what you want to do. It also has another option which is called a sub patch. I'm not going to particularly go into that, but a sub patch is basically you can have 3 versions. If you've got your ABC, you can also have 3 versions of the one patch within the control pedals setups. Alrighty, another awesome feature about this particular unit is you can use FXA, which is just here. You can actually use that as a boost or an overdrive section. So you can actually run, you can run the FXA as a boost, and you can run the distortion overdrive setting as well. So you can stack boosts and stack overdrive pedals. There's also another awesome feature within the system setting. It's called the parameter preferences. And if you switch from one effect to another from the same effect block, if you have the parameter preference switched on to maintain, it will actually retain the settings of another particular pedal that you may have chosen within the same block. So if you're on an overdrive and you've got the settings set the way you like them, but you just want to change the overdrive to a different overdrive and you've got that particular setting switched on, you can actually just change the overdrive and it will maintain the parameter settings that you had for the former overdrive, which is an awesome feature. It just means you can change it quickly because a lot of people have their settings that they like, and instead of going to default mode and having completely different settings, you can just maintain those. Otherwise, you can set it to default mode and it will default to just a mode that MOOER have chosen. Alrighty, so I was just on the Twilight patch there before. It's got some really nice delays. As you can hear, reverbs. I'm just going to head down now to the Plexi. This is just a... That's just a Plexi version of, that's just a preset version of a Plexi amplifier with a little bit of reverb, a little bit of delay on it. You can obviously create any tone you want using this board. It's definitely a high functioning multi-effects level, aimed at people who really are playing shows, particularly on the stage, or hoping to be playing shows on a stage. It'll give you access to everything you want it to access. All right, so it's got a looper here as well. It's a multi-pedal looper. You've got record, dub, play. You can have it play once, or you can stop and clear it, and that just assigns to these pedals here. You can undo it, you can reverse it, or you can set it to be at half speed. So that's a handy little thing to have. And of course, you've got a big tuner, easily displayed on stage, easy to see from a distance. There you go, we're a tiny bit out on the D string. All right, we'll switch back. All right, this is an updated Plexi. It's got a bit more drive to it. You can hear the trail. Lovely sound. Just moving through a few of the patches. Supernatural. You can hear the slow gear coming in there. Ocean Paradise. Pop rock. Switch to the middle pickup. All right, so this is the G300 Lite. It's a really professional, usable, giggable multi-effects unit. It's quite a small format. Bring it along to any of your shows. It'll give you access to everything you ever need. Alternatively too, it's a fantastic unit. Very easy to use if you're learning how to use amp modeling and multi-effects. MOOER have set up some great patches in there. I'm just going to play us out with one that they've set up called the Plexi. Obviously, it's just a Marshall Plexi amp. Anyway, check them out.